Hi and welcome to part 11. In this part we're going to create some synths to go in the intro, outro and possibly elsewhere. I have this acid that I've made that I would like to try out. Since it's an ARP, we only need to draw a straight line. The volume already seems to be around -15, so let's move on to the plugins. We will begin with OTT to give the acid a little extra spark. That worked very well. Now let's add EQ. And let's play while we tweak it. Not that much difference, but makes it sit a little nicer in the mix. Now for some compression. If you worry about the way I set the compressor, keep in mind that it's also personal taste. It's about tweaking until you like how it sounds, so don't get too caught up in the numbers. Usually aiming for around 2 to 4 dB gain reduction. Sounds good. I think the acid sounds a bit too centered, so I would like to add a plugin called Doubler from Waves. What Doubler does is creating 2 extra instances of the sound and allow you to tweak them. What we want to do is delay them so all 3 hits at different times. Doing this quick enough will trick the brain into thinking the sound is very wide. This is called the Haas effect. The left and right channel also have slide detune to separate them even more. If you don't have this plugin, you can duplicate your sound and put them in the left, center and in the right and tweak them one by one. By using the doubler though, We save CPU and it's much more convenient than having 3 channels. You can really hear the difference there. This is one way to create width in the mix. Now let's add kickstart. So let's copy and paste this as well as change the color. I want some more sounds in the intro, so how about a stab with delay and reverb? Let's see what we have in my Anna 2 bank. Liking this stab much more. Let's put the stab a bit lower so it gets more contrast to the acid. The second part of the ARP is a bit too distracting, so let's remove that. For this sound, I like the internal reverb and delay, so let's keep that on for now. Now let's add EQ and skip the OTT, because this stab should be a bit deeper in the mix. One way to make a sound appear more in the background of the mix is to remove the high frequencies. Sounds good, and it doesn't sound like it needs any compression, so let's skip that. I also want to make the stab wider, but let's do it differently than the acid. This is a very useful trick I've done in my productions a lot. We will use a Studio One plugin called Extreme, which is an auto panner. This is basically an LFO that will shift the panning, and if we shift it very quickly, the sound will go from left to right and give a sense of a bigger space. We need to set the depth fairly low so it sounds natural. Makes it sound much more alive, doesn't it? Now let's add kickstart. Alright, that filled up the intro nicely. And that's it for this part. In the next one we will work with buzzes. See you there.